Good evening. So today it's really chaotic here. I'm moving this week, so everything's kind of everywhere. I've done an insane amount of shopping trips this week. I'm really excited to share with you the things that are coming up. But in the meantime, tonight I'm going to be going through everything I got while I was at Old Factory, Bedford, Black Swan, Northgate, and 81. So it's a little spread out here. Everything's kind of everywhere, but I'm gonna do my best to make some sense of the mess on the table. So the first place I went was Old Factory in Hummelstown, Pennsylvania. I really like going there. It's one of those places where you never know what you're gonna find. They have 3 floors fully stocked, and honestly, I didn't get that much there this time. I only got 4 items, but the first 2 were these mirror signs. I think they're so sweet. Now, I see a lot of these vintage hand-painted, oh my gosh, it's reflecting how much mess. Here we go. I see a lot of these hand-painted mirrors a lot, but a lot of the times the paint's all worn up. Now, for the both of these, I only paid $3.40, so it was kind of a no-brainer. I personally love old religious items, and I just thought it was so sweet. The one that really caught my attention was this one, of course, because it's got the little bluebird, and you can hang it. It's in really good condition. I mean, all the paint is there, and it's not all scratched up. So for $3.40, there was no way I could leave these behind. So one thing that I used to pick up a lot that I've kind of slowed down on grabbing are these Victorian Art Nouveau jewelry caskets. Now, this one is missing its lining, as a lot of them are. If you do find one with the lining, a lot of it's torn. Of course, I do love when they have the pink or baby blue lining, but this one was only $5. So I used to sell these for a pretty decent money, honestly. Like, this one probably would have gone easily for $20 quickly. But they kind of took a dive recently. So I'm probably going to only price this around $14, which I feel like is fair, because I mean, the outside is in good condition, and they're not easy to find in great condition. Like, it's not like it's perfect. Like I said, the lining's not there, but some of them have like holes or broken legs. I just love the Art Nouveau style. I have these all over my vanity. So for $5, I definitely grabbed that. And the last thing while I was there, I grabbed this wall pocket thing. Now, I searched and searched my listings. I had one of these before, and I had all the information on it. It was about 2 years ago, maybe 3. And for some reason, I cannot find it. I don't know if I accidentally deleted the listing or how that even happened. But these ones are pretty hard to find. I normally see the Fitz and Floyd version. This one, it's not marked, but I feel like it's the people who make the Magic Chef. I do remember that I sold this in the $35 to $38 range. You know, it's harder to find. I've only had it. This is the second time I've ever even seen it for a reasonable resale price. I grab it every time because it's just like a really fun item for your kitchen or your office, and it's easy to ship. So all that came to $14.40, which is what I will end up selling the jewelry casket alone for. Wait, is this damage? Oh, I am just now seeing I missed a spot of damage. There is a crack in this. It's kind of hard to tell. So this won't go for that much. This will probably go for like $10. I feel like that's fair, because it is a jewelry box. It's not like it needs to be watertight. Now, the next place I went was Black Swan in Palmyra. I picked up this adorable little Napco Christmas angel cat. Now, I was missing damage a lot that day. It's a really good repair, so I'm actually not that mad at myself. I have some pretty bright lights shining in here. This is actually the light from my office, which when I'm photographing, I realize that all the stuff I've picked up has something wrong with it. But yeah, so the wing is repaired, but it's a really clean repair. I've seen these go anywhere from $20 to $25. Obviously, this will be on the lower end of that because it is repaired, but either way, I think it's absolutely adorable, and I have not had one of these for 3 years. I always love a good anthropomorphic cat, especially if it's holiday themed. So the big hoopla at Black Swan was this box of vintage mermaid soaps. It is new old stock. I definitely paid up for it a little. I paid $22.50, whereas a lot of vintage soaps really don't sell well or for that much. This is by the same company as a lot of them. It's Pure Castle soap. It's made in Austria. The box alone was worth it to me. I mean, it's like nude, risque, pinup girl mermaids. I mean, come on. And then when I opened it up, I was shocked because not only are they in their original packaging, but they kind of have the same familiar faces as the desirable Napco and Lefton mermaids. You know, it's not obviously the same, nor crusty. Now the plastic is breaking apart a little bit on them. I mean, that's fair. They're very, very old, but their faces and their bodies are completely intact. I have looked and looked, and I have not found another set of these, so I'm kind of afraid I might have to make something up. I do want to be able to double my money on this just because it's such a unique item. I mean, the fact that it's these old soaps alone, I mean, this is something, you know, alongside of paper that wasn't meant to last long, and they're all marked. Oh my gosh, they're so freaking neat. I mean, it's the epitome of kitsch 1950s mermaids. And then with the risque pinup girl factor added, I'm just like over the moon about these. There was no way I was leaving something this unique behind. Next up, I got these Rubens Japan planters. The Nursery Planters are so collectible. And I mean, not all of them, but most of them, especially this guy right here. Now, I've had this one before. I want to say it sold for like $34. The little cowboy is so cute. I only paid $8 for this one. Actually, let me go back and tell you what my last one sold for. So my last one did sell for $34. However, it did have a hairline crack. This one has like a tiny little nick there, and I think that's about it. If I remember, there might have been one little, oh no, it was on this one that had a little nick. Either way, these people go crazy for them. I always see the pictures listed in the wanted group for collectors of Kitsch on Facebook. They're getting harder and harder to find at affordable prices, especially. For $8, this was definitely a good deal. I've seen them go anywhere from, like I said, like $30 to $70, which is insane, by the way. $70 is too high. I was like, that's crazy. I want to say like probably 40 to 50 is the average range for these types, but some do go higher. This one is definitely one that would be going higher than this one because of this bear's face is just like super desirable. I mean, it's adorable. I'm not sure what it is about this series that makes people go wild, but I only paid $8 for this one too. I almost left it behind because it has been modified a little. It's got a little rhinestone glued to its eye and a little nick right there. I was trying to, I mean, it's so tiny. I was trying to be super, super picky, especially because I have so much stuff everywhere because I'm moving and I'm going to be setting up a new office, which is stressful enough. So, I just didn't want things that were going to sit around for a while and be like, why did I buy this? But I am glad I ended up picking this up. This will definitely go quick. I will not sell it for top dollar because of the condition. I mean, even though it's a minor condition issue. In fact, this is actually a sticker. Oh, well, look, now I feel even sillier. I would have found that out when I cleaned it up to photograph it. But yeah, it was just a little sticker. So it's just a little nick. I'm super glad I picked this up. And it will definitely bring me a good return. Next, I went to one of my favorite places ever, which is Northgate. It's like kitsch heaven. You get to dig on the floor through piles of stuff, which is one of my favorite things to do. I bought this dog plush. It's so weird. I could not resist the face of these. Now, it's a little bit newer than I would have liked. I think it was marked 1970 something. Let's see. It is Dankin. It's a little bit newer. Nope. Product of Japan, so it's a little bit older than I thought. However, I mean, look at the face. When I tell you what I paid for it, you'd be like, yeah, I would have had to take that too. It was $4.70. I mean, this thing is hilarious. I love its beady eyes, and it's kind of got like that old plush, like kind of mohair style, even though it's not. Body underneath all of its kitschy fuzz. It is just so adorable. I couldn't resist. A lot of plush I've been super picky about picking up because I bought a bunch in the past couple years that are still kind of sitting around, and I like to be conscious of what's selling and what's not. However, for under $5, I couldn't let this guy sit there. Next up, I got these little Norcrest duckling salt and pepper shakers. Super fun Easter set. I've only had them once before. They sold almost instantly at $30. For this pair, I only paid $7.50. And they even have the original sticker on them, which are, I mean, not that it, no, I don't think it adds too much value having the original sticker because they are marked with a number on the ceramic. But still, like, a lot of people are a stickler for stuff like that, and I don't blame them. Especially a Norcrest sticker is harder to find. So little ducklings, perfect for my little Easter section in my shop, which has been kind of staying around the same amount of stuff. Like, I haven't been buying much Easter stuff, even though it's like January. I'm always picking up new holiday items, and that's the thing. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, I only sell Christmas at Christmas and only sell Valentine's at Valentine's. Sure, whatever, that works for you, but I just don't do it that way. I feel like collectors always looking to collect. It's always fun to find that stuff, and I like to, I don't want to like sit around but if I boxed up everything I bought for a certain holiday and kept it for that holiday, I would definitely misplace half of it by the time it was time to post. This next item is such a gem. Oh, I'm obsessed. So this little blow mold flower arrangement with the flocked bunny rabbit head, I paid $12 for it, and I would do it again, even though I'm really careful about what flocked items I pick up because of the damage. And this blow mold stuff, honestly, it's pretty easy for it to be damaged or missing parts, and it might miss like a couple little, I don't know, it looks kind of all there, honestly. But anyway, sometimes they're missing like a little like doodad at the tip or something like that. However, these are getting harder and harder to find, and it's a couple of really desirable things, right? So like the blow mold Easter like decor with the faux florals made in like Hong Kong and stuff, I've seen them go for crazy money whenever I have them. They sell super, super quick. And then on top of that, you got the anthropomorphic flocked bunny rabbit on top, which in and of itself is a desirable item. And all is said and done, it's in pretty decent condition. I am confident that I will be able to double my money, even though I paid $12 for this. I will not put this item on sale just because it is so fragile and it's so hard to find in the condition that it's in. I mean, the first year I did resale, I found like a bunch of them. I posted my first round and they all sold immediately. And then I was like, maybe I should look up what this sells for, what this is. And I was like, oh my gosh, people really love this stuff. And I'm like, no wonder, it's super cute. But as the years have gone by, it's been harder and harder to find, like I said. And when I do find it, it's usually pretty torn up. This is an adorable little decor. It's going to go in my Easter section, but honestly, this could be used for anything year-round as far as I'm concerned. Keeping with the Easter theme, now, Squeaks have also been going kind of slow for me. This one I definitely paid up for. I paid $18 for it, but I could not resist its expression and its colors. It's just super unique. I've had one before. I believe it sold for $27. This one I paid $18 for. Now, it doesn't really squeak that much anymore, but it's still like the happiest looking little bunny you've ever seen. And its size is bigger than the last one I had. I do believe I'm going to price this at $30, even though it doesn't squeak. I feel confident that it will sell for that. If not, it might take a little while, but I'm willing to wait just because, again, a harder to find item. I mean, when I see like such unique expressions and faces like this, especially when the rubber's not like completely beat up, and the colors alone, I couldn't resist. It's just adorable. And on the harder to find side, I've seen one like it recently out, and it was severely overpriced, and it was not in good condition. I think it was $35, and it was like really beat. So I had no problem paying $18 for him, even though I kind of like dragged my feet on it for a second because I'm such a cheapskate sometimes. Next up, I found this. This is a pretty rare find. It's made in Taiwan. It's made by Stallwood. And it squeaks perfectly. The bunny suit one is definitely harder to find and more desirable. I find that a lot of stuff, like the figurines, the planters, you name it. If it's this little, like, if it's like a pixie thing in a bunny costume, grab it if it's under a certain amount, because chances are somebody wants it and is willing to pay for it. Now, I only paid $7.50. Now, whereas a lot of the times, if I saw Taiwan on the bottom of a Squeak, I'd be like, no thanks, unless it was super cheap or super special. This qualifies as super cheap and super special. A lot of these are listed for crazy money. Now, there's none in the bunny suit listed right now or any in sold. There's a version that's in a squirrel suit or whatever that's posted for $40. I personally think it's a little overpriced. Sorry if that's your item. Just my personal experience. I'm not an expert, but I would say I would feel confident probably going to $35 on this, and that would of course include US shipping. That would leave about like $30. It would be about like $29 I'd get for this after fees. Again, just because it squeaks and it's in the bunny pixie, the bunny suit, always a good deal if you find something with the bunny suit under a certain amount, because there's like, I mean, obviously the knee huggers and the bunny suits are super expensive, and then they've got like the left-in girls in the bunny suits. I mean, you name it. There's so many cute variations of bunny suit things out there that people are collecting, which sounds really crazy now that I'm saying it out loud, but it is fact. Next up, I went to Bedford Street, where I was kind of having a hard time finding stuff, honestly. I ended up only picking up 2 items from there. One was this Christmas apron. Now, I had bought Christmas aprons a couple weeks ago, and they did pretty well, but they were like incredibly kitschy. This one's pretty cute. I mean, it's got like the little Santa Claus and the poinsettias. It's not not up my alley as the snowman was, or the reindeer with the elves. But either way, I only paid $6 for it, and what really stood out to me was the fact that it was in like new condition, even though it was far from being new. So I paid $6 for it. I won't sell it for as much as some of my other ones did, but again, what I found was a lot of handmade new aprons that used like the vintage print or vintage fabric sold for decent money on and of itself. So the fact that this is actually an original vintage apron does make it more desirable. So I think it will be like a quick flip, especially because it's after Christmas, and I think it is a more common one. I have seen this one out and about before. Just it wasn't as clean as this one is. So I won't charge much. The other thing I picked up, I'm a sucker for little bone china, and of course we all know I love the little cats. This is adorable. Now, they're not supposed to be on this little wood mount, but I only paid $6 for it, and honestly, this is something that sometimes I wouldn't want to pick up because I'd be afraid I'd miss one of the pieces, because this is technically 4 different things that are sold, and they're like kind of glued onto this piece of paper, and they're really hard to take off the piece of paper without breaking, if you're anything like me. So for $6, I won't sell this for much, but it's just so adorable. The cats don't cry over spilled milk. Now, the last place I went that evening, I got like a little out of hand. I bought a couple things that I maybe wouldn't have bought if it was another, heat of the moment thing, but it was so cheap. I mean, wait till you hear these prices. So people love owls. I've had so many different variations of owl salt and pepper shaker sets. I try to only pick up the more desirable ones. However, these ones were in such good condition, and I really liked the colors. And they are made in Japan. They were only $3. So I just said, what the heck? It would be kind of weird if I left them here, especially because I didn't do that too much damage that day. So I just grabbed them. And the next set I got was actually a set I had before. It had been a little while, and they were only $2. So again, I was just kind of like, whatever. I love this version. There's definitely different versions of the Florida oranges, but I love the anthropomorphic kind of neon ones. Like I said, $2. I won't sell them for much, but it's probably been about a year since I had these. So I felt like for $2, what the heck. Then I went downstairs into the flea market section. I spent 75 cents down there. Each item was 25 cents, which is why you can see I kind of like Oh, okay. Well, that's why you bought something you normally wouldn't have bought. Like this Rempel deformed duck. It definitely doesn't squeak anymore. It's seen better days. Rempel is a super collectible brand. A lot of them do look like this. I'm not sure what it is about the Rempel that makes them kind of disform quicker than a lot of the other rubber squeak toy brands. But again, for 25 cents, I won't sell it for much, just like a few bucks. I just felt like maybe there's some Rempel collector out there who can do something spectacular with this or repurpose it in some way. I mean, it was only a quarter. Not my smartest buy, but it could have been worse. Another thing I got for a quarter, I kind of knock on white milk glass. But it was just this cute little heart dish. I couldn't resist since Valentine's Day is coming up. And again, it was only a quarter. I won't sell it for much. White milk glass really isn't my friend. And I'm seeing now it's got like a paint missing right there. Either way, I mean, it was only a quarter. I'll only sell it for a couple bucks. I kind of feel like somebody might be able to put this in Valentine's display coming up. And the last thing I grabbed in the quarter section was this cute little doll. Now, I've been kind of staying away from these dolls unless they're super unique because I've had them so many times, honestly. This one was only a quarter, though, and it was pink. And the fact that its face isn't all cracked up, I'm not going to sell this for much. I'm probably make like, you know, maybe $9 or $10 off of it when all is said and done. But it was in such good condition. I was fully expecting it to be completely stained or have a crack in the face at that price. But obviously at a quarter, I wouldn't feel right leaving that. And the last thing I got of the day is rubber squeak fish. Sadly, he doesn't really squeak anymore. But the good news is, I only paid $1 for this, which is insane. Now, he's got some wear. He's really like not in pristine condition, but it's still gonna be a quick flip item. And I love when I find little stuff like this, like the doll, you know, for 25 cents, because it allows me to be like, okay, well, I can probably sell this quick if I underprice it at like $10 or something, you know, whereas normally I might post it for 12, and that's like pretty much pure profit for me because I only paid a quarter for it. So it's like, it allows me to buy more things like this where I'm like, hey, I paid $18 for this, even though that was kind of crazy. But it kind of evens out my profit of the day. I do keep track of what I spend every day. And of course, obviously what I take in, I try to make it so, you know, I'll be able to at least easily double my money. I've been getting more and more cautious about how many items I buy and what items I think will go quickly. That's the thing. Like, because a lot of this stuff will sell. It's just a matter of when, and I don't like to have too much tied up in stuff at any given time because the best part of this whole thing for me is going out and finding it. So, you know, I like to keep that train rolling, and I like to keep my cash flow going. So if I do find something spectacular, like wait till you see what I have coming up, I can afford to break the bank a little, which I definitely did. So I will see you guys tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And I am so excited to share the next series with you.